Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. What are we making today? Well, I saw something on Boho Daydreams Facebook group, and Michelle Gregory had made some, she called them flat tassels, and I went, oh, flat tassels, that's a great idea. And so I decided to give it a try. So I'm going to bring you along with me, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I have just layered up some pieces and I clamped them together at the top. So I've got some muslin here that I have dyed with rust. I've got sari silks in different colors, different shades. I've got eyelash yarns and other metallic yarns and just all that good stuff. And like I said, I just clamped it together across the top. Let's see where I want that one to be. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch it right there across the top. And then we're going to finish it. Okay, so here we are at my sewing machine. And I've just got some black thread in here. And I'm going to leave it in here. Okay, sorry, my phone rang. Wouldn't you know it? So anyway, I've got black thread in here. And I'm just going to sew straight across. I realize you probably can't see me stitching because of the camera setup, but I'll show you what I did. So see, I just sewed straight across the top there. So I'm going to do that with all these other pieces that I've got. Okay, I have all of these stitched now, and they're all a little shabby chic looking, which is what I was going for. You can see I missed one. The reason I stitch them together is because they have a tendency to not, to not catch all the pieces. So that's why I've been stitching them together across the top. And you see I missed another piece. So I didn't do a very good job. But that's okay. I'm going to glue that in there. Okay, so I just glued those pieces together with some fabric glue. And you can certainly glue the whole thing together if you want to. You don't have to do any stitching at all. And so now I want to create a little topper for these guys. And I was thinking this right here, maybe one of those, maybe even two of those. Let's do two. Would be so pretty right there as a little topper. Just needs a little something, something up in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two guys. I may trim off some of those threads, but not all of them. And I am going to glue those right there. That'll be so pretty. Now, I know what I'm going to do to the rest of this, so I'm not going to glue it too far to the top. And the reason is I don't want it to get too thick on the top. And I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm kind of leaving just a little room right there, not a whole lot of room. So we'll glue those right there, and we'll let those dry. And I was thinking for this cream colored one right here that I would use this, some coffee dyed lace that I have done. All right, let's see. That was pinned. No wonder I couldn't get it apart. Okay, so if I do this one, and that's going to be another twofer, so we'll put two pieces across the top, or two motifs, I should say, across the top of that one. All right, so I'm going to add a little glue to this one also. So you can do this with any scraps. I've used fibers and yarns and sari silks and muslin strips, and it's just like all of our other junk journaling stuff. There's no rules, just whatever you want to do. Okay, so, and I've got this lime green, it's kind of like a seam binding lace. There's another piece attached right there. And I just love lime green. Look how gorgeous that is. So I'm thinking for this one, I might just go across the top with that little piece of lime green, just to kind of give it a little something. Now you could also do, look at there, I lost another piece. You could also do these top edges here with cardstock, and you could take some cardstock and maybe cut some pretty edges on it, and then fold it in half. Do you know what I'm saying? I tell you what, I'll show you. Let's do a couple in cardstock so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I've done is I went and found a piece of paper that matched that one, and I found a piece of paper that matched this one. So this one's a little bit wider, so its paper's a little wider. So what I was going to do is just fold it in half like this, and then take some decorative edge scissors if you've got them, or you don't have to do this, just however. And mine must be dull. So I just cut me a pretty little edge, and then I'm going to set that little edge right over the top. Now I can take a staple and just staple it right there, and it'll be done, which I think is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to put a staple right in the middle, but we are still not done with this. I have more ideas. Okay, we'll do the same thing with this one. We're going to fold it in half, and I'm just going to cut a pretty edge on there. That one cut a little bit better because this is a little bit heavier cardstock. Now that one's a little wider than the actual thing, and I don't want it that wide. So let's cut it down just maybe about that much. All right, so I'm going to slide that up in there. And like I said, you don't have to stitch that top. You could have just done this and glued them all up in there, or however you want to do them. Okay, now this one I didn't put anything on the top of it because I put that little piece of fringe with a tassel hanging, and that kind of gave it a little topper. So I'm good with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, we've got 6 of them. All right, now let's bump it up a notch. Want to get all our little giblets. I have these ribbon crimps. If you don't have them, you can use something else, but I think I ordered these from Amazon, and it was not expensive, but I couldn't tell you how much because it's been too long. All right, so what I want to do is I want to take the ribbon crimps, and I want to put as much of that as I can up in there. And what I've got is these flat pliers. They work really, really well for things like this. Now, to keep it from being too bulky up in there, that's the reason I didn't want my top too thick. I'm going to trim some of that off, and I'm going to see if I can get my ribbon crimp to go on. Now, since these are stitched together, if the ribbon crimp doesn't catch everybody, it'll be all right because they're stitched together. Then I take my flat pliers and I squeeze that crimp together there, and I turn it over, and I do the same thing here. Okay, and now this one ain't going nowhere. All right, but we're still not finished. We're going to do something else to it. All right, let's do one of the ones that we did with the paper, with the cardstock. Now you can choose any size ribbon crimp you want for this. So I'm going to look at that size, and I like it. Now, when there's a lot of room in between that ribbon crimp, like there is right here, you can start it by hand. Just squish it with your hands. Now it's on there, but it's not completely as tight. So then I go back and I squeeze it so that those little teeth go down into that paper. All right, so there's that one. This one's a little wider, so I think we're going to go with a wider crimp, and those wider ones are hard to squish with just my hands, so I'm going to do it with the pliers. All right, so there's 3 done. Let's see, for this one I'm going to go that size right there, and you can see the little topper just kind of adds something sweet up there. And you know what I was thinking, these are like flat tassels. If you put them on your junk journal spine then they're going to lay flat when you open your journal. Instead of having a bunch of bulk and stuff, and lots of times we have to pull our tassels up to the top to be able to open our book, this is going to lay flatter, so you may not have to do that. All right, let's do one more. And I'm going to just kind of squish that down in there. And we're going to crimp, and we're going to crimp. And if I don't like that little piece sticking out, we're going to trim it off. Okay, so there we are with the ribbon crimps. So here's what we've got so far. Now, let's see what else we want to do to these. I was thinking, and it might work and it might not, but these two with the paper on them like this, I was thinking it'd be cute to have a word up there. So let's move this out of the way. Move, move, move. All right, so these two with words, with paper. Let's find a word. Okay, so what I have here is just some word stickers, and I was thinking maybe this word expecting. It's a long word, but I bet I can get it to go across there. Are you expecting something good today? We need to always be expecting. Expect a blessing today. How about that? Expecting. All right, and then on this one's a little shorter. So how about imagine? So I am going to put the word imagine right there. Now, see, each one of these ribbon crimps has this little loop. So now we get to hang it from something. Okay, so I also want to go back and trim these. In some places, I may not trim all of it. I want it to be all uneven, but for the most part. Okay, so what I was thinking is I have these beads that I've made. These are just some boho beads that I did with my bead weaving. I love bead weaving. Believe it or not, yes, I've made all of that stuff. And my dog wants to come in. So far, I've had one phone call, one text, and my dog had to go out and then go back in, all while I'm trying to film this film. And you know what? It's okay. Okay, so let's see. I've got a purple and I've got a turquoise. So I'm thinking about using one of these as a topper for my flat tassel. Of course, then it wouldn't be flat, would it? But it'd be so pretty. Look. So I think I'm going to use this one right here just because I want to hang it from something. All right, and this one is turquoise, and let's see. This has some turquoise, but it has a lot of green. There's a little bit of green in there too. Or I could come over here. I could choose that one. Let's look at that one and see. So we have this choice. Oh, that one looks better. Okay, so we're going to go with this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bead this little topper thingamajiggy up, and we are going to dangle our beautiful flat tassel from a bead. I'm not going to do them all that way just because of the fact that I want some of them to remain flat. So what I'm going to do is get my tools. All right, so I'm going to take an eye pin, and I'm just going to open it up sideways, of course, and we're going to slip this little guy on, and I'm going to close that eye pin back. So we already have it dangling now. It's already swinging, and that's sweet. Now all we got to do is bead this up. So I want this up here, but I don't want him by himself because he's very big. So let's tone him down with a little bit of, I like these pearls. I like that dark purple right there. So I'm going to go with a dark purple pearl and maybe some crystals. There's a lavender crystal. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. And I'm thinking I may have to go with 2 dark purple pearls, and we may even go with 2 crystals. Let's look at that and see what we can do. All right, I'm going to need some bead caps to make it pretty. Okay, let's see what we can do. I've got this purple one here, and I think I'm going to start with the purple pearl. And then maybe, I was looking at this ball. These, when you make these beaded beads like this, and if you don't know how to make them, I have a tutorial on my channel of a bunch of different styles. But they end up with a pretty big hole right there at the bottom. And so what I do is I put a bead that kind of fits that hole, but it won't go up in there. Can you see that? So it kind of fills the space of that hole, and that keeps this wire from jiggling around all over the place. So I've got 2 beads there. I'm trying to decide if I like it. Maybe I don't. I'm going to go with just the gold one to fill up the hole. Okay, like it better. All right, and then on the top, how about we put that purple bead, and then maybe, I was thinking about this, but I think that's going to be too big. Yeah, it's a little overkill. We'll put the purple bead. We will give it a itty bitty bead cap on the top, and then a crystal. See what we've got so far? How gorgeous. And then I'm going to do, and I'm mixing metals here now. I've got bronze, I've got copper, I've got gold, but I like it. I like mixed metals. It's fun. I'm going to go one more pearl, one more bead cap, and one more crystal. How about that? Let's see if I've got enough left to bend it. Barely. Okay, we'll take our round nose pliers. I'm going to hold it there, double check, make sure everybody's in their place where they're supposed to be. Bend that wire off to the right. I would trim it, but it's pretty short already. So I'm just going to bend it back around, make a little circle loop, and then I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to pick that loop back up where it's supposed to be, about right there. Did it close all the way? Let's make sure it closed. We don't want it coming off. There we go. Now, the next thing is we're going to have something to hang it. Now, at this point, you could hook it onto a paper clip, or you can hook it onto a bulb pin, which is what I'm going to do. Sorry for the glare. And I'm going to choose purple since we're in a purple theme here. Why not stick with our purple? All right, so I had a little jump ring here, and I am going to find the opening. I'm going to open that jump ring, and I'm going to put it on. Now, you don't have to use the jump ring, but I can tell you right now, it's going to hang a lot cuter, a lot danglier, if I can say that word, with a little jump ring on there. If you don't put the jump ring, it'll still be pretty, but it'll dangle nicer. It'll give it a little more freedom. And y'all know that when I do my little bulb pins, I like to bead them up. Bead, not beat them up, but I like to bead. Uh-oh, I'm sorry I keep hitting that stand for my camera. I apologize for that. All right, we've got some purple, of course. We've got to have some purple and maybe some of this shiny, kind of a bluish shiny. So I'm just going to go like purple, shiny, purple. Then I'm going to go through my jump ring. And I'm going to go purple, shiny, whoop, missed it, purple, shiny, purple, complete. There it is. So this is my idea of a flat tassel, although I did add the beaded top to it. Okay, so there's one. Let's do another. Want to? All right, let's do this green one. That's so pretty, and look how big this honking thing is right here. All right, so we're going to need another eye pin. Let's see if I can find, there's one, and we're going to open it up. Open the eye pin. We're going to hook on our flat tassel. So I'm going to bead at least 2 of them. I may leave some of them flat, but these 2, at least these 2 have to be beaded. All right, now, so I've got this big honkin' bead, big boho bead. It's so pretty. These are so much fun to make. I bet you I've made 100. I just can't stop making them. They're just fun, fun, fun. So, and now you can see the hole in this one is tinier, much tinier. So if I want to fill that hole, I'm going to have to fill it with a smaller bead, even smaller than that. So let's see if I can find maybe this size. Look at there. That'll work. That size little gold bead will work just great. Is that the same? I think it is. Okay. So I'm going to put that little gold guy on here. And then we're going to start with our big bead. Look at there. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to go with a pearl first. It didn't look right on the other one, but I just might try it on this one. All right, so we're turquoisey blue. So let's try that one. So if I go with the blue, and I might end up putting a bead cap on that because I think it would be really pretty, but let's just look. Nope, that's perfect. I like it. Okay, now let's put our little bitty one on the top. And again, remember that kind of, once it's tight, it keeps this wire here. See how this wire would jiggle around? That keeps it still so it doesn't jiggle. We don't want to jiggle. All right, let's put a, what do we want? What do we want? Let's have something pretty. What do you see? What could we use? I'm looking in this little stash right here. I was trying to find something really cute. Maybe that guy. That guy might be cute. All right, so let's go with, we're in turquoise now. Let's have another turquoise bead to make that match. Let's look at the crystals. This color right here is, oh my goodness, so awesome. So let's maybe pull 2 of those out. All right, so I've got this guy in. I'm going to go with a turquoise and this spacer that I liked and a crystal. Now I'm looking at my wire to see how much room I've got. You see, I'm getting close to the end, so I'm not probably going to be able to get anything else on there, so we'll stop there. All right, so I'm going to take my round nose pliers, take up all the slack, make sure everybody's in their place, bend that off to the right. Now this one's a little bit longer than the last one, so I am going to trim it just a hair. And then I'm going to take my round nose and I'm going to bend that back around. Hello. Okay, I see what happened. We'll go back and fix that. I'm going to bend that back around. You know, when you're filming, things happen that never happen when the camera's off. But sometimes I'm glad because that shows you what to do. See what happened? This guy, this little pin came open, which means it wasn't closed well enough. And I think the reason it came open is I wrapped this a little bit too far. So we're going to unwrap it a little so that can back up. Back it up some. Now we're going to go back and recurl that. Put that back on where it's supposed to be. And close her back up. Very carefully. Very carefully, she says. All right, now I needed it to be a little rounder. If I closed it up flat, then it ain't going to dangle. Okay, I think it is on there. All right, now we got to go back and fix our top, which went a little ski-watchy, which was my fault. So let's let's fix that top piece up. Okay, how's that? Let's stand it up just a hair more. There we go. Okie dokie. Look, 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 look. It's so cute. It's so cute. Now, still just a little bit crooked. I want it straight. All right. Now, we're going to add our pin to the top of that one. What color shall we choose? About the best one that's going to match that's going to be that pretty light blue. All right, so we're going to take our light blue pen, and I wished I could get the crystals on these pens, but they just won't quite fit. So we're going to go back to these large, wrong one. These right here, the large seed beads. Large seed beads. What'd I do with it? I lost it. Oh, there it is. All right. And I got plenty of turquoises in here to choose from, turquoises and greens. So let's start with maybe a darker one, and then maybe a lighter one, and then, I don't know, maybe this kind of a teal. All that kind of matches. Put that in there. And let's go with maybe this color blue, and maybe that color turquoise, and then one more of my faves that matches the best. Ta-da. Okay, there we go, guys. There is our tassel number 2. Now, I would take and trim this guy just a little. He's a little long. He don't need to be that long. Okay? Oh, look. All right. I flipped it. There we go. All right, so here's our second one. Turned out real pretty. Here's our first one. Very pretty. All right, so now if you don't want to do a beaded bead at the top, but you want to keep your tassel flat, you want it to remain a flat tassel, okay? There's a couple of things you can do. You can go back over here to the jump rings, and let's put a jump ring at the top. All right, let's open this up. Put that jump ring on right there. And let's close it back. Make sure it closed good, okay? And then we could just, oh gosh, there's so many things you could do. You could take one of these chains that came with the ribbon crimps. So here's one idea. If I can get one. You take that chain and you could attach it right here, and then you could put your bulb pin here, or you can just put your bulb pin right there. I'm thinking the chain might be fun. That might be fun. Let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that jump ring that, I need the other pliers, would work better. I'm going to take that same jump ring, I'm going to open it back up, and I'm going to put a piece of chain on the bottom. I'm going to close that jump ring. All right. Now see, that's going to be really cool. It'll dangle. Ta-da-da! All right. So what do we want it to dangle from? And I don't want it quite that long either. So I'm going to stop it probably about right there. Let's see if I can open that up. All right, so I just opened up a link of that chain. And I'm going to save that piece. This piece, I am going to close. All right, and then I have to double check it. Make sure it's closed good and tight. Come on, you. Okay, now, then I've got this little extra piece. I'll save it for another one. And then I'm just going to add a, there they are. I'm going to add a bulb pin. Then I can clip it anywhere I want to clip it. Okay, so this one, I'm just going to pretty much stick with the bronze. Everything in it seems to be bronze, so I'm not going to change that up too much. So I'm going to take a cream color bead. I'm going to take a brown bead, and I'm just kind of looking at my colors, what I might want to liven that up. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, do I want to go in the end of that chain, or do I want to put a jump ring? I think I'll just go into the end. All right, then I've got another piece of different color brown, and then maybe one more cream. There's about 6 on there. There we go. That's sweet. Now I'm liking that. All right, I want to trim that just a little bit. So this one has a little more swing to it because it's hanging from a chain. So there's another idea. All right, so let's finish the rest of these. Okay, guys, here they are, all finished and ready to go. Thanks for watching, and I hope you go and give it a try. It was a lot of fun. Bye-bye.